Hi guys, so today we're going to look at the 4-1 profile. And this is somebody that I was a little bit curious about. So I decided to do the profile to see who this person is. So you can do that when you have somebody's birth time, or if it's a famous person, you can usually find it online. And then you can do the human design and the gene keys. So I found out that this is a quite unusual profile. It's a 4-1. It's called fixed fate. Has to do with purpose. So I'm going to explain more about that in this first video, as well as the mechanics of the bodygraph and how the energy moves in the body and with the environment and other people. And then in the second video, I'm going to speak more about the gene keys and about that life path, how we do the breakthrough into the soul's purpose, and how we start to living that true blueprint that we are here to live, and not just living through the mind. So I'm going to start sharing right away. Okay. Actually, let's do this. Okay, that took some time to load, but now I think it was working. So here we see, I haven't really showed this before, but here we see exactly how it looks, how the bodygraph is made. So this person is born here in Aries in April. That's the sun, and then we had the Earth opposite the sun at the time of birth, and then we have the same thing for 3 months before when we say that the soul incarnated. And that's how you get the conscious from the time of birth, and the unconscious, the soul, from this other activation. So let's look at the standard. And that's also what you see here on top, that you have those 4 gene keys, the sun and the earth. They are the most important gene keys in somebody's profile. So and actually we can start like this, even so. Of course it's gonna look like a reflector with all open centers, because we don't have all the other planets. But when we speak about fixed fate, we look at the sun and we say that this person, the fate of this person, the purpose of life is really hidden in this gate. And we know already that the profile, the type of the 4th line is somebody if we take the tone of the 4th line from the house of the I Ching, it's the person on the 2nd floor on the balcony who has a big network, and people come to see this person, and somebody who speaks and who asks from the heart, and who actually gets all the opportunities in life from this network. That's why we also call it in human design the opportunist. And here the key, so the fixed face for this person, we can see here as well that it's, can you see that here, the cross of control, So in the shadow frequency, the fixed fate, the fate or the destiny will be controlled. And it will probably be controlled through a pretty closed heart. It's a 4th line, so it's the heart chakra. And in the shadow frequency, it would be somebody who kind of closes their heart and just forces. And in the higher frequency, and especially how we see this through the gene keys and through the frequencies, we would say that this person is a very heart, like a warm person with an open heart. And the 21, when we speak about it in the range of frequencies, it goes from control to authority to valor. So it's somebody who is here to have authority, to have a voice from the heart. And it's a brave person, does that with valor, has this quality and shares it with valor. And it's all about sharing from the heart, and from that sharing becomes an authority, becomes a voice, and becomes, you see, it's in the will center. So it is in the center, that it's the powerful ego center. It's about will, and it's about having your will, having it said, so it's, and in the shadow frequency will be control, and in the higher frequency it's about authority. So let's add all the other planets. So, and look here, what pops out at us when we just add the planets. You're like, wow, another 21, another 21. It's like there are two 21. We have both Mercury and Venus in 21. So there is really this theme, and you can also see that here we have a 0.6, we have a 0.6, we have a 0.4. It's all transpersonal lines. So it's all about sharing with the world. It's all about the higher vision. The line 1, 2, 3 are the lines that are very individual, where we do things for, experiencing and discovering ourselves. And the higher lines are transpersonal. You can also see that there are quite a lot of detriments. You see all the little triangles that they're pointing down. And one way to see this is like, this person is going to have to look at the shadow before the gift unlocks. There's something that takes us down to look at the shadow side of it, which is control. So I mean, I'm interested in asking about that. I would hear this person speak about control and how that has been part of life, or that can both be, how you have been controlled or how you have controlled others. There seemed to be a theme about that, or a theme. You can see that the will center here is very defined. We have a channel. We have like the 26 that is activated more than once, and we have the 21 that is the life's work. So there is something about the will center and have your will, and also about worthiness and probably, because this could be pride and control in the shadow frequency. But in the higher frequency, it's more about artfulness and authority and having a way to do this in the world, So that those are interesting questions. And you can see that we have this sacral center defined. So it's a generator. We also have a connection to the throat. So it's a manifesting generator, which means it's a person that has this energy, the life force that can all the time be regenerated. And this center is like a treasure box. So every time we do something, it's like we pay a coin, and then we want to make sure that we get something back. So that's what this person knows, that as long as you feel satisfied and regenerated, then everything is good. You're using your energy right. If you feel frustrated, then that's self-theme. Then you know that you've drained yourself, that you have not used your energy right. And this is a person with a lot of energy. The 14-2, this channel is called the Keeper of the Keys. And it's a very powerful channel, because it means you have the power from the life force, from the sacral center, and you have the direction from the G center. So when you have power and direction, it's like you have the keys to anything. So that's very powerful to have this channel. And we can also see that there is the next channel that goes from the G to the throat, that has to do with creativity and expressing that creativity. And that's also the whole channel. So you can see that this is a very powerful like trinity that goes up, where you have life force that it's like circulated up to the heart, and the identity, the direction, and then expressed in truth through expression in the throat. So this is a powerful powerful combination, a powerful pillar, I would say. And then we have a split. So we have like these three centers are connected with channels, and then we have these two centers that are connected together, but they're not connected through channels with the other three. And this means, I was speaking about this in a post this week, it's that knowing this is a manifesting generator that has energy, and that has kind of, the manifesting part has like peaks of energy and creativity. This is really how this person is supposed to live, from that sacral center, from the intuition of like, what do I want to do? Like, what feels right? What gives me energy? And and feeling into like who I am, you know, where am I going, and expressing that. That's actually the authority of this person. This is like how this person, it's the energy type of this person. And the interesting thing though is that the authority is in the emotional center. So it's the person who is here to feel a lot, to experience a lot, to have this like spice in life of experiences and feelings and emotions. And it's important to know that this is just like spice. It's still in this fluidity of the sacral center and the intuition, where you have your truth, you could say, where you really want to walk. That's where you want to make decisions from. So there might be ups and downs, there might be, you know, highs, excitement, and you might be bored. And it's not when you're really bored or when you're really excited that you make decisions. You just see, it's just more feeling this and see that you have the opportunity, or somebody who's here to feel that. And it's interesting, like I said, because we have both the emotional authority, and we have then the sun that I was speaking about in the beginning, the life's work, and the sun in this center. So there is something that could happen with a person like this, and from the split, is that when we feel drained, we kind of try to fix it from our split. So in this case, this person would become selfish, probably from the ego center, or would become very emotional, like very, you know, very emotional in the sense that like the emotions would take over. It would make other people tired. So probably, and you can see here in you know, the shadow frequencies here are weakness, exhaustion, pride, control, victimization. So it will be somebody that kind of tries to fix the lack of energy through being selfish, or being like overly emotional, or becoming a victim, which is not very fun. And what we want to do when we are a certain energy type, we really want to function from there. So make sure that we put energy on the right things, that we listen to our truth, that we express that. And then this thing, the split, becomes an add-on. It becomes something amazing. It's like a superpower. Once we function correctly, we have the superpower of willpower, and the superpower of actually being able to share experiences and emotions. So I know this is a little bit tricky, but I feel like, you know, I've done so many videos now, so I kind of want to go into these things that are a little bit more complex. So just knowing that we have different part of ourselves, and there is a kind of priority, like where do we want to live from, and in this case it is living from this fluidity to kind of have, it would be good to like have somebody ask you questions. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And then you will feel your body saying yes or no to that. And it looks like a quite active person, because there is a lot of definition, a lot of willpower, feelings, and we have all the arrows here except one that are focused to the left. So it looks like a person that has a lot of things going on. With the open centers, you could say here you have the gate of, you know, a lot of questions why could be from this 61. It's really a potential for inspiration, and to be an inspiration for others as well. It's here in Jupiter. And in the shadow frequency, we, like I've said before, the open centers are a lot like we take in everything from the outside, from other people, and it filters through us. So either we can become very conditioned by it, or we can become very wise about it. And especially when we have a center like the ajna, where there's zero activations, you see, there's nothing that is activated, then this can either become a curse or a blessing. So this person in the shadow frequency, you know, the curse would be to just like feel like there's so many ideas and so many concepts and so many things, and like, you know, feel kind of it's too much. And then maybe to fix that, you know, decide to like go for one religion, or go for one wife, you know, or, you know, like somebody who would pretend to be certain, not because they are certain, but just because they are scared to see, like there's a fear in knowing there's so many possibilities, and then we kind of hold on to something to feel safer. So any kind of like pretending to be certain out of fear, it would be, would be detrimental. And this is a beautiful, I've said that before, it's like Einstein. He had the head and the heart open. So it's a non-judgmental, not judgmental person that can hold a million ideas and research so many things and listen so many things and share one perspective today and share another perspective tomorrow. And we have somebody who's here looking for purpose. And you can see that the gate 28 is in Pluto. It has to do with the soul as well and with the collective unconscious. And it's about risk taking. The third line in this gate is about taking risks. And we don't have a detriment. So it's not, it's not that you always have to go through failure, but the third line kind of, makes you do that anyway. It makes you fail so that you can refine your purpose. And we can see that it comes from open center. So there is a little bit more, it's also a little bit more risk to be conditioned by others too. So with this center, it's to make sure that we don't hold on to things that are not good for us. So asking ourselves, if we see that we're holding on to something, to ask, is this good for my physical, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being? And then we see what we find out and learn to let go. And that can be something for the fourth line. And we're going to speak more about that in the next video. The fourth line has this, there's so much heart, so it can be hard to let go sometimes, and especially when we don't know what we have later. So for the fourth line, it sometimes can feel like really scary, and it's not always the best way for the fourth line to just quit something before you have something new. It's a little bit like a monkey in the trees, it's kind of jumping from one tree to another, but it's like it's supposed to live in the trees. It's not really supposed to kind of fall down on the ground. It's a little bit like that for the fourth line. It's good to have something to move into. It's good to have that connection, that network all the time that is there anyway, and to use that. And the root can be, pressure from the outside to finish things and feel like, I need to get done with this so that I can relax. And there's a bit of sensitivity. There is a little bit of, these things sometimes feeling maybe it's safer to trust in the 3D structures, and having questions about money and success and how to use the system. Basically, it's on the unconscious side. So, but it is here. It's the radiance. So there are questions about expansion and how to do those things. We have both here. So I feel like we're going to see this more in the activation sequence in the first line, what this really means from the root center. But there is a perseverance. There is like there is that, and at the same time, again, when this is in an open center, to be a little bit careful what other people might influence you. So to kind of summarize, that's all the open centers. The white center is where we risk of being conditioned from the outside. So we want to be careful, and we want to see in these centers, make sure that we don't do these things. Like, so for the head center, am I thinking about things that don't matter? Are the things in my head that are coming and that I can't really control? It seems to be a loop. And here is like, am I pretending to be certain to feel more safe? Am I doing it out of fear? Am I holding on to something that's not good for me? And here is like, do I feel pressure? Am I hurrying just because somebody else is putting pressure on me? That would be those things that could kind of keep you out of your true self. Instead, you want to live from this pillar, from your life force that is circulated up to your heart or through your heart and expressed in truth. That's really who you are first. And once that's activated in you, you have those superpowers in the ego and the emotional center that have to do with will and emotions. And this beautiful channel here, the family channel, you could say, it's like, it's the tenderness of caring. And the 40th is also the one who can see everybody in the right role, so you can kind of see that synergy of people where everybody's in the right role, like in a tribe, so kind of a tribe leader that could go together with a 21 as well, So And you have this, you have the timing of nature. You kind of feel the timing of things in you. And you also have this behavior, like I was saying, you seem to be somebody quite active. So wherever you are, or like whoever you talk to, whatever environment or person, you find a way to like behave perfectly to the situation. The 10 is kind of that, the behavior of the self, the right behavior that actually makes you feel more love, direction, and who you really are. And you inspire other people to do that as well. So yeah, let's just stop here for the human design, and then I will be back with the jinkies.